In this video, we're checking out the brand new iOS 14 Apple CarPlay inside probably one of the most exciting pickup trucks in the world. Let's get started. So let's go ahead and plug it into our phone and check it out. Please don't glitch on me. Okay, there we go. Took a little bit longer, but it loaded up. So this is the familiar face that we saw last time when Apple did the big update, the redesigned UI of Apple CarPlay. So by default, the wallpaper is already equipped. And right away, I'm not personally a huge fan of how these look like, the behind the text effect that it has so that the text is readable. But let's just quickly go into the settings real quick. Okay, so right here we see the wallpaper. So by tapping here, okay, so this is how the new wallpapers look like. So we have a total of 5 different ones, and by the looks of things, it looks like it's the dynamic wallpaper that was introduced previously on iOS 13, a part of the dark mode. So if we select one, you can set it up. It gives you the same setup process when you set up a new wallpaper on your iPhone, but it doesn't let you move things around. If let's say I want to like stretch things out and go into the green, make this entire screen green, it doesn't allow you to do that. So you still have to manually hit set for some reason. But let's go to the home menu. All right, so this is how that looks like. Not too bad. Set. I'm pretty sure this will match nicely if you have like a Lexus or something with like a red leather interior. But for my vehicle, I don't know, let's see. This matches, but it's not my cup of tea. I think the red and blue looks better. So one thing I noticed is if we go back into wallpapers, you can still choose if you just want the traditional black, like how it originally was. And then you have the option for this gray one, which looks like it shifts between white and that off gray color. If we go into always dark and change it to automatic, yeah, here we go. We have the white background again, or you could just leave it always dark. Show album artworks. This works whenever you're listening to music. You have the album there. That's stayed the same from what it looks like. Although I want to say at one point it did used to have the album in the background blurred. I guess they took that off. Maybe that was the early beta of iOS 13. Keep in mind, some of these changes could be improved. So like the text I originally complained, maybe a future beta update, Apple is gonna perfect the text so it doesn't look this odd. But what I wanna go check out is how each wallpaper looks like whenever it's nighttime. So we're next to a parking garage. I'm gonna drive underneath it so that we could trigger the vehicle sensor to switch to night mode. Let's go ahead and check that out. And there we go, it's switched to night mode. So yeah, the wallpaper in the background did get slightly darker, especially this little toolbar. So I wanna go ahead and switch it to a brighter wallpaper and see how that looks. So if we set that to this one actually blends in nicely with the text. Let's go ahead and see how the red looks. This one may need some perfecting, and it's kind of lagging already. And then, is this the same gray? Oh no, this is a different gray. This one actually has like a nice metallic look to it, I want to say. And then let's see how this one looks in dark mode. Looks very similar to like the daytime, in my opinion, between this one. And of course, this is the one we started off with. Now let's go back outside in the sun and see how day mode looks like for all of them. And then of course, we don't have to look at these because we're already seen these. So here's a quick time lapse of all the different colors. So all personal preference, but I could confirm that the black one is just pitch black, which might actually look really good on some cars, especially with an all black interior. So this one may stay for my vehicles. Now, other new changes that's worth talking about is the new Siri. So we saw the new Siri animation for iOS 14, and the same Siri treatment is also added on Apple CarPlay. So by launching Siri, it now has like a new animation. It doesn't take up the entire bottom part of the display like it used to. And of course, you can still activate Siri just like you previously were able to by either using the virtual voice assistant button on the steering wheel, like so. Or if your vehicle is equipped with it, you can always just say, hey, and she goes on like that, which I just don't want to use her right now. But during the beta, right now, the only supported third-party app that I found is Waze. Waze is the only one that actually works with the beta currently. So here's Waze, everything works fine. your speed, your arrow to point north and all that jazz. But when it comes to Google Maps doesn't work, unfortunately, not yet. It's telling me to set it up on my phone, and whenever I enable location and stuff like that, it works fine on my phone, but for some reason on CarPlay it doesn't work. It keeps giving me this weird message. Spotify currently, let's see if that works. It does not, it's just blank. YouTube Music, if you're a subscriber, also will give you a blank screen. So really the only third-party app that supports iOS 14 current beta stage, it's really laggy right now, is just Waze. But everything else, from what it looks like, nothing else has really changed significantly. You can still do the same Siri shortcuts if you say Waze, navigate Golden Gate Park.
Getting directions to Golden Gate Park using Waze.
You can still use Siri to launch third-party apps by requesting to launch it with a certain app like I just did with Waze. But something I did notice, whenever you start a navigation using Apple Maps, there's a new warning message you have to hit OK. So if, let's say, we go to here, you can still call if you need to get a hold of the business to make sure they're still open. But when you hit go, sometimes this message pops up. It didn't pop up this time, but just like the previous iOS 13, you can still share your ETA, you can mute your navigation, you can add routes if you need to go to a gas station, a parking lot, restaurant, coffee, or grocery stores. You could do a new search with either dictation or an on-screen keyboard, so you can actually type in everything with suggestions underneath. For the most part, the majority of stuff remained the same, but what I want to test out is see if maybe they added more stuff. Like last time they gave us stop sign indicators and light. Directions to Black Hawk Plaza.
I'm on it. Getting directions to Black Hawk Plaza.
Let's go ahead and check out the added stuff on our route.
Starting route to Black Hawk Plaza. Proceed to Central Parkway, then turn right.
So you can still do this. You can still move the route if you want to get a better overview of everything. Hit resume, make it so you can zoom in more, but we still see the stoplights. So to the most part, it pretty much remained the same. But let's go ahead and drive over there and see if something pops up that we haven't seen before. All right, so here we are in our destination. So far among the drive, I noticed you can still take screenshots with your phone, but everything else was exactly the same. You still could see the speed limit of the street right above, the lanes that you need to be in to make your next turn. Basically, everything was identical to iOS 13, which isn't bad. I'm perfectly fine with this UI setting that we recently got compared to the very first version of Apple CarPlay. Again, your messages is exactly the same. You can still write your messages just with that new Siri animation. You can make phone calls. You have access to the keypad. And then a new feature for iOS 14 was the new incoming call animation. It looks like it's exactly the same like how it originally was on the previous version of Apple CarPlay, but you can still hit the home button to minimize it and then just tap the green icon where your phone call is right above your reception signal to go back to that call. So you can still end it and pick it up from here. But something I want to test out is what happens if you're using a application while you receive a phone call. So it still gives us the same full screen. So no, nothing new here when it comes to incoming calls. And you can still like start a navigation using your phone that's plugged in to your vehicle. So the passenger could also enter like an address on your phone without having to use this display. Other than that, that was a quick in-depth review comparing iOS 13 with the beta of iOS 14 and see what changed, what's new, if the new wallpapers are really that good. In my opinion, they're all right. I still would have much preferred if Apple allows us to actually put our own wallpapers that we have like on our camera roll or photo libraries to like import. I think that would have been a lot cooler, but it is what it is. It's just nice that we have more choices this time, I guess. Maybe in the near future, maybe that's for iOS 15, who knows. Guys, if you'd like to see more Apple related stuff, feel free to watch this video over here. And then that video right next to that one, that's just a video that YouTube is suggesting specifically for you. Feel free to watch either or, but again, thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.